Moren, and then we'll go to the student athletes. So, Coach.
Well, just thought our kids were terrific, especially in the second half. Tournament play is always interesting. It probably took us the whole first half, I think, just to really settle in and get some rhythm. It was a different kind of game, as I said to them. When we get into foul trouble, Lex, has to go out. I thought G did a terrific job of having to guard Osh in the second half when Lex was out with foul trouble. Both Grace and AP both have 8 assists or 6 assists together, 12 of our 18. Which is sharing the sugar, the way we like to say it around our program. And I thought we got, there were several of these kids that stepped up. I thought Ariel Wisney came in today, a kid that doesn't normally get much playing time, with Keandra Brown being out right now with a sore hip. And so I thought Nikki was terrific on the ball. And so collectively as a group, the first game is always the toughest, but it's always the most important as well. So really happy for our players today.
Questions for the student athletes? Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Allie, you always have played well in this building. How important was it for you to get that first shot tonight and send Indiana on its way?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing here. I played here multiple times before, even college. And I'm just trying to go out there and do what I need to do to help our team win and to win. And that's all I'm focused on. And it just felt great for our whole team just to play well. I think we gained a lot of confidence tonight. We're clicking on defense and offense, so it was a great win for us.
Questions, please, up here, right here.
Thank you. You talked about just the confidence there. I guess, are you guys, with how the regular season ended, are you guys kind of paying attention to some of these NCAA tournament projections? I know you guys have talked a lot about hosting throughout the season. Kind of teetering in the bottom of that top 16 right now. Is that something you guys are kind of, I guess, playing for at this point and paying attention to?
Yeah, we are playing for a lot. We're playing for a Big Ten championship. We're playing for seeding in the NCAA tournament. We're playing to win. So.
Right here. Thank you.
Coach, this is the first game you won in 4 games. How much different did your team look today compared to the last stretch of the regular season?
Well, I thought the 3 days, after the Maryland trip, the 3 days in Bloomington really served us well. They took the weekend off, these kids did, and we got back to work on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. And I thought our practice prep, our practice time together, you could tell tonight or this afternoon that the things that we had been working on and talking about, showed out in a big way. And so, really just happy for these guys that we sort of, after you lose a couple really tough ones, just regrouping, but this is a resilient group. They have been all year. But the 3 days that we had in Bloomington, were really important for us.
Questions in the room for the student athlete, please. Right here.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Nikki. It seemed like you were at your best today when she was at her strongest. Can you talk about her play?
When she wasn't at her strongest?
No, when she was at her strongest. It seemed like you were at your best in the fourth quarter when she was at her strongest with those 2 steals. So can you talk about that?
Nikki was terrific today on the ball. Obviously, she's a problem, as I always say, disruptive on the ball, defender, and I thought she was great. And I will say this, in our offense, we talk about keeping the ball popping in our motion, and I thought today she was, really ignited, the beginning of our motion and kept the ball moving. And got it in the hands of the people that the Grace Bergers and the Patbergs, and allowed them to go make plays. And then she hits the big 3, going down the stretch there in the fourth. That was big as well. But now I thought all of our kids, all of them contributed today. All of them did something really great. We know that we still have things that we have to work on and get better as we move forward. But I thought overall, we had some really good moments by every one of our kids.
Right over here.
This is Grace. Do you just think you guys wore them down at all in the late going? You guys never got tired, and they looked like they started to get out of sorts a little bit in the fourth, and then you guys were sharper?
I mean, I think we knew coming into the game that we certainly had an advantage because they played a game yesterday, a fast-paced game yesterday. So we knew we were fresh. We had our legs coming into this game. So I think heading into the second half, but especially the fourth quarter, we kind of knew that to use that to our advantage.
We have an online question from Mike Schumann. Mike? Go ahead, Mike. Can you hear us? Okay, we'll go back here in the room. Right there. Thank you.
Coach, over the season, you're about an even rebounding team with your opponents. Tonight, I think you got out-rebounded, or this afternoon, you got out-rebounded. Is that gonna be something to focus on? You know, Rutgers has some length and some athleticism, and but some of the other teams that you're gonna face maybe here the rest of this week are gonna have that same thing. Is that something you're gonna have to really focus on?
Well, I think it's something we always try to focus on. You know, we emphasize it every game, you know, inside of every practice as well. But to your point, Rutgers is superb in terms of offensive rebounding. They're long, they're athletic, they're relentless. You know, Ash Brown is terrific, but she has other pieces on her team that, you know, all really pursue the offensive glass. And we knew that going into it. But I thought, for the most part, I know we got out rebounded by 5, but you know, it sure didn't feel like that there was that, you know, big of a discrepancy, I guess. You know, you just didn't feel like, gosh, we're getting crushed on the boards right now. I didn't have a moment like that inside this game.
We're gonna try Mike again, online. Yeah, Mike Schumann, please.
Can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Yeah, for Coach, how do you think McKenzie will respond physically to playing again tomorrow? And I guess that maybe that's a two-part question, both from the injury and stamina standpoint.
I think she'll be fine. You know, what is Mac? Is she 21, 20? She's young. She's a young kid. You know, these all are young kids. And I think I do, Mike, I think she'll respond in the right kind of way. You know, we have a terrific doctor. You know, Dr. Tripp was with us, as well as our athletic training staff. And you know, Mac is a tough kid, and she knows what's at stake for her team. And she's all about her team right now. So I would suspect that we'll go back and you know, she'll recover and do that. We'll prepare for Maryland, and then come tomorrow morning, I think she'll be ready to go. But with her endurance, the endurance piece, she's still, you know, it's going to take games and practices, you know, to build up that endurance. That's how that works. So unfortunately, there's no you know, thing they can put on their legs. What's that thing called you guys do? Normatec. All right, there's nothing for the heart that we can help her increase her capacity from an endurance standpoint. So, but she's tough, and like I said, she knows that you know, we're here to win games and win a championship. So she's going to be ready.
Right here.
Kevin on the outside first. No, all the way at the end. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you get Maryland next, and obviously you saw them just last week. I'm just curious about that familiarity factor. Could that help, or in terms of the scout and how you feel about the matchup tomorrow?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's a great advantage for us, you know, that we did just see them. And I think it's a great advantage that, you know, we're on neutral floor. And I think the other positive thing is that we know that we can beat them. You know, we beat them in Bloomington. You know, did some things that, you know, if we had do-overs, we would have done differently in College Park. But, you know, I think that we feel like we have a great opportunity ahead of us at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Right here.
On Keondra's injury, when did she get hurt, and kind of what timetable does she have going forward?
Katie got hurt in the Maryland game, taking a charge. She just re-aggravated her hip that she had surgery on off season. So, from what I've been told, though, I think we'll see her tomorrow.
In the back on the platform. Okay. All right. Okay.
I had a follow-up to that. I guess, what was the game plan in the paint with knowing you didn't have Keondra today, and how did Alexa's foul trouble complicate that?
Well, it didn't really complicate it because the gal next to me decided that she was going to guard Ash, you know, and so, you know, I think that, you know, we've had to play so many different ways, and you know this because you follow us and write for us. And so, I think it was just another situation where we had to lean on our experience and being veterans and realizing that, we still have pieces like Grace Berger that aren't afraid to go in there when there's a challenge, guard a gal that we certainly were concerned about, going into this game. And, the thing that can't happen is Lex has to be better tomorrow. We have to keep her out of foul trouble, and she knows that.
Back in the back.
Coach, Allie led the way with 19 points tonight. She's been here, you can say it a few times. What can you say about her leadership now that it's March and it's starting to heat up and get towards tournament time?
Well, I thought AP was great. It was, we were over on the sideline, trying to encourage her to take more shots. We felt like she was passing up a few, and she's had a lot of success in this building, and so we're only as good as our super senior, and our super senior over here to the left was really good today. So I'm excited for her tomorrow, and hopefully we can stay here for a couple days.
Okay.
Grace, you're one of the better players in the Big Ten. Every night, your stat line's always good. Where does that determination come from?
I think I'm just really competitive, and I want to win. So when I'm out there, I'm just doing anything I can to win. And obviously, it helps that I'm a senior. I've been here before. I kind of know how coach wants things. So I just try to come out and do my job, compete, and win.
Right, thank you.
Hey Coach, Hoosier Nation, it's Thursday afternoon. You got a good crowd here cheering it on. What do you say to them to keep turning out all week for you?
Yeah, come back tomorrow at 2:00, right? But they've always turned out for us, and we're so grateful that we have a Hoosier Nation that we can count on. And what is tomorrow? Friday? I would think that early off day, from work, maybe at noon. We can maybe encourage some of those guys to come over from Bloomington, but also show up here in Indianapolis and cheer on the Hoosiers. So we're really, really thankful for them, for sure.
We're going to take one more question. Anybody? All right, thank you. Oh, one more. Here we go.
Hey Terry, someone that hasn't been mentioned is Cardona Hillary.
Yeah.
She made some big time plays there at one stretch,
She
scored
did.
what, 5 points, 7 points, something
Yeah.
like that. She lengthened your margin. How important is she to you?
So important. I think these guys would echo, how important she is. Obviously from a defensive standpoint, the ball pressure, her being disruptive. But I also think from a point guard, she has the ball in her hands. She starts our offense. I thought tonight again she was terrific. I think we can expect she wasn't as good as we needed her to be in Maryland, and I think she knows that. My hope is that, and I think she will, take that as a challenge, and she realizes that, come tomorrow at 2:00, she's going to have to be really good for us on both sides. But she's been great all year. She had, I think the Maryland game was maybe, her first game since she's played here at IU where it wasn't up to par, but she also knows that. And they have games like that. She's been terrific on more occasions than she hasn't been. So, all of us though, we know this. We're all going to have to show up in a big way tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.